Alright, what's up, guys? There we go, got the music on. Now we're just gonna update Telegram, let everyone know that we are live and good to go. What's up? Good morning, brother. How are you doing? Gonna break down the chart shortly. There is only really one setup I'm really interested in, and it's US CAD today. We'll go over yesterday's trade too, but if US CAD, I got an alert right now on this price level, I'll go over it. If we close through this though, I'll be looking to get bearish. We did lose our trade yesterday. We got trailed out, not terribly, but we got trailed out a little bit, just under a 1% loss. We've got, this is a two-step, so we've got 10% static drawdown. So, and we're risking 1% a day. So we're giving ourselves 10 trades, and it's a ton of breathing room. We've got no trailing drawdown, so as we push into profits, that will be more. New York's just open. We want our setup to occur between 8 and 11 a.m. So we're not gonna stream that long, but if we get past like 9 a.m. we'll set alerts and whatnot. I'll try to keep the streams to like an hour. But I'm gonna break down this trade and why I like it, why I think it's a good setup. But basically, if we go to our daily candles, that's what we're basing everything off of right now. And this daily candle last Thursday closed strongly below last Wednesday. And you can see, yes, this candle's trading higher than this one right now, but it has not closed higher. So these candles have kind of been within this last big break of structure candle, and we're finally now coming to potentially sweep back below that level that we traded so strongly below before. There's not much getting in the way of this, right? It's literally just, this picture is the clearest. There's a fair value gap here as well that we're trading up into on the daily time frame. But mainly this level that we broke below right here is what we are focused on, that red level. So the fact that we are trading back up into here for the first time since we pushed strongly down out of there is a good sign, because now if we can trade back below there again, we've got some liquidity right here, some right here, and some right here, and some right here that we could target all the way down. None of our other pairs really have any good setups. They're all kind of shifting. What's up, Lubislav? I'll show you guys yesterday too as well. We did not pick the right level to trade off of. And looking back in hindsight, I'll show you, this is the end of the day too at 5. So price did deliver just a little bit with US dollar Swiss franc. I never took this trade, but just looking in hindsight, which was the right level. And if we really look at it, we did kind of jack up yesterday's trade, just because if you look at Monday's low that we were trading based off of, this didn't really get broken through by like this candle, right? It got wicked through and then broken through by a candle that wicked through a different candle. Like you could just see it's kind of messy, right? It's kind of messy. And if we were to like look back in time yesterday, like let's just bar replay it really quick. I got an alert on US CAD, so I don't need to worry about watching it really. If you look at like, okay, this is where we're at yesterday or whatever, what's the most recent break of structure? It's really this low. It's this low right here. This is not really like the most recent one, so we were kind of basing our trade off of like some messy price action, whereas it should have been based off this one. But even with it being based off this one, that trade had already happened. So yes, it did play out a little bit yesterday evening, and I showed you guys in the Telegram, but look at this trade had let's put our sessions on. The gray sessions are going to be our New York session. You can see that trade had already played out. So that trade was already like done and resolved, right? Where was it? Right, it was right here, because this was that indication, and then price had pulled back, and then the next day during your trading hours you get that continuation right here, and that trade had already happened, so that had already met target. So yes, it did kind of play off of it yesterday evening, but it had already met target. So US dollar Swiss franc, just messy price action. Overall, probably not our best trade, but I was just anxious to get back into one. I'm not gonna lie, being back with you guys and everything. There might not be a trade today though. There might not be a trade, but US CAD is the best potential. Let me make sure I've got an alert on this. I'm pretty sure I do. If I do, I want to show you guys something else, which is cool because this can be done on weekly candles too. I'm personally not going to. We want to like pick a time frame and stick with it. That's like what I want to do. So I want to basically trade off the daily levels. But just so you guys know, like institutions trade monthly levels, weekly levels, and daily levels. They don't really trade based on smaller time frames. They use the smaller time frames to get in the trades, but they trade based on the monthly, the weekly, and the daily. So if you look at what's going on with the candles on a weekly basis, monthly basis, and a daily basis, you're going to see, like, look at New Zealand US dollar right now. The same exact concept that we're applying to our daily candles. Let me clear this chart for you. You can see right here, we're looking at such clean price action right now on New Zealand dollar on the weekly time frame. You can see clear as day. This is your first question, guys. What is your most recent? What's up, Jake? Good morning, brother. We'll check UJ in a minute. Hopefully you didn't pop out. This is prop. This is prop. And I'll show you. This is prop. We're on a prop right now. We took our first trade on it yesterday, so it's down 1%, but we're doing a two-step, so we got 10% breathing room. We just started yesterday. We're only risking 1% a trade, and we're gonna cover risk. But so like on the weekly right here, really quick, let me just show you this. What you're asking yourself, what is the most recent break of structure? The most recent break of structure on the weekly is this candle right here. Now, with that being said, what other swing points did this candle break? The only other one's right here. Now drop down to like the 1 hour or even the 4 hour. You can see once price got back above this level and starts getting below it again, like yesterday in New York, we weren't looking at weekly levels, so of course we didn't take this trade. But you can see price starts delivering, and then price will probably, if I had to guess on New Zealand US dollar, I'm not even lying, price is probably going to come all the way down to here. And it's just that clean price action. Let me go with a 4 hour and let me take the thing off, that way the session's off, that way it's not super sloppy. But you can see how these weekly candles, like, instead of trying to guess market structure sometimes, like that strong weekly breakdown right here, it literally told you that's the direction we want to go, that's where all the strength is, and then literally what levels can you trade back under to get there. And this trade, I mean, we're not trading weekly levels, we're trading daily levels, but just knowing that this is a weekly level, like you can see right now, there's not even a single daily trade in this. The market's switching directions because it's making that weekly continuation. And that's happening on, I think that's only really happening on that pair right now, but it's happening on some other pairs right now too. But from a daily perspective, oh, you caught these longs, Jake, huh? Good morning, Joshua. You caught USN longs. That's a crazy trade though, if you hit that from down in here. But yeah, there's no trade for kind of what I'm looking at right now in USN, because you can see where had we been most recently breaking. I don't consider this a break yet because we didn't close. So until this daily candle closes, I'm not considering this what I'm basing my trade off of. I'm considering this the most recent break. And on USN, we're shifting right now, so we don't really have any plays on USN today. Same thing with US dollar Swiss franc now. We had been most recently breaking downward right in here, and now we're shifting. So this is, though, just so you know, setting us up for a potential play tomorrow or whatnot, because if we close higher like this, you got to think about it now. Now we've got price to trade back down into one of these levels and back above, or this level down here and back above. But the market's setting itself up. Like, if you guys go and you back test this, you don't even have to run a whole back test. Just go and look at a daily chart, and you'll see over and over again when you see those break of structure candles, like right here. The candle breaks below this one. What happens? We pull back up into it. Once we start trading back below, we come in, we match it. Same thing in here. This candle broke below here, comes back up, matches it. It happens over and over again. Look at this big candle right here. Broke below this one. What happens? We tag up into it and then we start trading lower again. Now, ideally it comes all the way to target. And in this case it does if you would have put your stop way up there, but it's better to just get in during a high volume time like New York, put a tighter stop, and then ultimately just trail your risk in case it doesn't go all the way. Because like, look at this right here. If we go on US dollar CAD today, let's say we get in our position, let's say we start closing lower than here. This is the 1 hour, but we'd be like on the 15 minute. But like, let's say we start, our full targets down here. That's 1 to 5. There's no reason for price to come in and like, let's say it tags out this liquidity. Let me find it right here. Let's say it tags this liquidity in here, tags this liquidity in here, and that's like a pretty good amount of liquidity to grab and a good pullback if we did want to go higher. But still, we're in a downtrend. So like, let's say we tag all these, but we're going for this whole thing. We want to cover risk some. Like, you don't want to lose this entire trade. Like, that's one thing I need to be a lot better about, that I'll be completely forthcoming, is I haven't been the best trade manager currently. In the past though, I used to do nothing but manage risk. I used to do nothing but play defense. I used to do nothing but trail my stop. Here's the thing though with it, is it kind of takes a toll on you, because it's such a you have to have so much like clarity. You have to be dialed in, you have to be locked in order to like trail your stop on a daily basis. And like, if you're doing it well for like 3 weeks at a time or whatever, and you're crushing it, and then you have like a few down days, you're like, man, am I doing this? And then like, let's say you get tagged out of like 5 trades that run for you like 5 days in a row or something, then you're like, you barely lost anything, because remember, you're playing defense and you're getting tagged out on small stops. But when you see like yourself get tagged out, like let's say on a trade like this, and then it runs all the way, you start questioning if you should trail and stuff like that, and You probably should still trail. That's the answer. But it's just like, you question it a lot with the back test and just setting and forgetting and just leaving the trade. It's like, it's black and white. It's gonna hit stopper, it's gonna hit take profit. You can really gather data and you can really know like, okay, I know my data with just letting the trades play out like this is gonna turn out like this. And yes, it's good, but it's long term, like if you catch losing streaks, they're gonna just be it's gonna be much deeper drawdown than it would be if you're just like trailing. And the idea though is, the only reason I'm really considering trailing is because if you look at like the way we're trading now, and if you look at like, if you guys did watch SI and you see the moves that we're trying to catch, the moves we're trying to catch really shouldn't be making much pullback, right? Like when you get price delivering off a level, even like right here yesterday, like those candles should be getting respected. If you're trailing like every 2 candles or so, like you should be getting respected until price does want to reverse some, right? So you should be getting like a good amount of the move, like right down in here or something, of a push like this. Same thing with like what it did the other week when it was trading off of this level up here. There was a level up here. Look at price, if you're trailing every 2 candle break of structure candles, you could see you're getting like the majority of that move, right? You probably get tagged out right in here, and it's just a much safer way. But you don't really want to trail unless you know you're catching distribution. If you don't know you're catching distribution, it's really not the best idea to trail, in my opinion, because it's not going to be easy. You're going to get like a lot of like things like this that are going to chop you up before the move takes off. You have to be getting in at the right time and the right price for it to just stack candle after candle after candle after candle. And there's a way to figure that out. Like Psy does it. That's kind of what we're trying to learn, and we are learning. But yeah, I'm gonna try it with this account. We'll see if it works too. We'll see if the trailing stop works with this account. We got US dollar Swiss franc was a little heavier just because of its value in terms of lot size. So we were risking like $625 on that trade yesterday, which was just over 1%, because I'm just doing 5 lots across the board no matter the pair. So it's going to be a little less for US CAD, a little less for US yen, and then Euro and AUD, it's just going to be a flat 1%. GBP, New Zealand. You guys know how the lot sizes work. But so I did trail it a little bit. So we were supposed to lose like $625, and I only lost like $490. So you can see already like how trailing that just shaved off like a good at least 15% of that trade. So it's super beneficial to do. Now US CAD, the reason this is a really good trade too, and we went over New Zealand US dollar on the weekly, I'll go over it on US CAD too. We've kind of got the same play coming in right here. It just so happens that if you look at the most recent break of structure on the weekly, it's back below 2 weeks ago. That level is the same exact level as this daily. Watch, I'll take this off. You can see it's that same exact level as that daily candle we're already looking to sell below. And this is a weekly level to sell below. Whether you get the full move, there is a very, very high probability that if we can trade back below this level in New York session today, or the New York kill zone, or 8 a.m. to 11 a.m., really even 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., because that is the New York London overlap. Like, I honestly, like, not trying to trade like the whole thing, but one thing I'm noticing when I'm trading the higher time frames is it's a lot harder to get my trade condensed into like 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. or 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. or a macro window of 20 minutes. Like, so when I switch from like wick ranges to just like candle ranges like this, trying to trade ICC like this, it's like you're using daily candles, and you know you're entering based on like the 15-minute. You really need a little bit more time. So if I'm gonna take any trades during the day, it's got to be during the New York London overlap, 8 a.m. to 12. And so the thing is, I'm not gonna watch the charts for 4 hours. I promise you, I'm not gonna do that. But we'll get on here for the first hour together. We'll hang out. We'll break down the charts. And like, let's say US CAD's still playing around in here. What I'll do when like I'll set an alert right here, and if price starts getting below it and it closes below, I'm gonna take a sell, and then I'll like notify you guys or whatever in the Telegram, and then we can go over the trade tomorrow. But I already explained too, like the way I trail is going to be, and I'll bar replay it. Like, let's say we get into the trade right here. Like, let's just say for whatever reason that was trading above our level. The way I'm gonna trail personally, guys, just so you know, is I'm gonna trade like every 2 candles. Every 2 candle break of structure. It's the same pattern we're looking for on the daily time frame, but on like the 15-minute, and it's going to be fractal. We're going to so you can see this candle closed above this candle, so our stop loss is going to be below both of them. Now this candle closed above this one, so it's just going to be below both of them, same spot. Now nothing happens, you're still giving it plenty of breathing room. So now this candle closes above this one, so what I would do is I would move it to the low of both of these 2 candles, and then so on and so forth. You wait for another close higher. Close higher happens here, so you get a trail right here, and you could see like we've locked in profits, and then you ultimately, this candle gets higher than that one right there, and then you get trailed out like right there. So it's like, this is what it would look like. You'd go for your full target here, and if this was the finish of your ICC move, you would have got it, right? Because you can put take profit on there, unless you just feel the market's gonna move much further than that. Like, you can put a take profit at that level still, and then because ideally it is gonna react to it after it turns off. But if you didn't, like, see, you're still getting positive RR, you're still getting most of the move, and you're getting trailed out right there with potential for it to go much higher. So it's like, that's the idea of how I'm gonna trail. It's just as candles break beyond the previous candle, I'm gonna put it below the 2 of those, because it's a real method. It's not like, anytime you implement something into your strategy, you want it to have like real grounds in reality. Like, does this make actual sense? And from a structural standpoint, when you get a candle that breaks beyond another candle, it is creating a range, right? You have a break of structure. At the very low of that range, you have a protected swing point, and at the very high of that range, you have an unprotected swing point. So, and all the more when price trades back below that break of structure and then back above again, what's it do? It matches that unprotected swing point. So you could even see it on the 15-minute. We just saw it right there. But that's like the whole idea. You try to find that on the higher time frame, then you use that same exact method to cover risk on the smaller time frame. So you can see here, we knew this trade was going to fail yesterday because we had got in right here, right? And then we had to end up putting we ended up trailing right here because this candle closed below this one. So we ended up trailing like all the way right here. This was our trade. And then the fact that it flipped right in here and wasn't respecting this protected swing point, not only did it fail, it ended up going much higher and clearing these highs too. So that's how that's like a respectful spot. If we were going to keep going down, this is the determining factor right here yesterday. And that's why we ended up getting trailed out right there instead of, it was a little bit higher. I just put it like above it a little, but it really shouldn't have even got close. So I don't know if this stuff makes sense. I hope it does though. What's up, John? Yeah, we took that US dollar Swiss franc trade yesterday that I was going over. I'll go over it again in a second. Rich, I'm not looking to. I will say the only reason I'm not looking to, like if I was trading cash, I would, because I've just seen it, like sometimes the trades need time to work. Most of the time they don't need that much time to work. Usually if you get them during a high volume, time, which is the time we're trying to trade, and they start making their move, it's typically gonna play out relatively fast. And if you're trailing, you're probably not gonna be into the next day. But if you're confident in like a weekly trade like this, like I really believe, like we'll leave this on the chart. I'm like almost certain that price is going to come here. I'm just not trading weekly levels right now. I don't want to get my lines crossed, because then if I start trying to trade weekly levels and daily levels all the time, it's probably gonna get super messy. But the reason I'm not on the prop account is because spreads widen like crazy. Anytime you're in news, anytime you're at the rollover, it is not, I promise you, it is not even close to replicating live market conditions. It is beyond it. It is beyond it. And I know that for a fact because I was trading with, IG at the same time I'm trading, with E8, and IG's not kicking my spread up like that ever. They do kick it up during the rollover and they kick it up during the news, but it's not like 20 pips. And even if they do kick it up, you're going to get your stop hit, but you're not really going to get slipped. Like with IG, I don't even ever get slipped, honestly. Like their execution's so good. Their spreads are just wider than trading with a prop count, which makes it a little harder. But with the direction the market's going, though, it's gonna really want to make a dramatic move to shift back below here, because if you look at everything else right now, like GU's melting down, I think GU might even be in a weekly play too right now. I might be wrong. Yeah, I am wrong. Which other one was it? It was another pair's playing out on the weekly, I think. Honestly, no, maybe I was wrong. Maybe New Zealand US dollar is getting all the love today. Maybe it's literally like such an obvious setup for like the institutions right now to get price going lower. Like maybe no one else is literally trading anything else. I mean, it's just crazy. You see back below those levels where price dumped off before the market tells you what it's going to do. It's just, and it's crazy. You don't see this. And I've never even heard someone like talk about this until Sai. And it's crazy though, because it's not like he put up some like cherry pick trades. He literally like, he'll take trades like this live and you'll see him play out like 10R, like just literally go all the way, like with such crazy entries. And you'll see it play out over and over and over again. And then you're like, wow, someone's actually sharing something that's not like random, that's actually working, You know what might be cool though? Since the spreads are higher on a cash account, at some point in time, I just want to focus on just the dailies right now on this stream, on this prop account. But it might be interesting to run just some bigger swing trades like on the weekly time frame on the cash account at some point. But yeah, I mean, look at, you could see even the breakdown in here. What's happening, right? Price gets back above that level and then it melts below it again. Like to a T. And you could see all that retail liquidity just being formed on these daily candles and then price trading back to match those levels. All right, but let's go back to US CAD because that is still like the only thing we really have a chance at trading today. I just don't know if it's going to happen. Daily, yes, we're not necessarily closing above other candles yet, but we are trading above 2 other candles. We've also traded back into a second fair value gap, which is a deeper retracement into like this overall range. We're at 50% right now. If we could react off of 50% right now and then get back below that level there, it's going to be good because this is 100%. We're not screwing it up like yesterday. This is 100% the most recent break of structure. This candle is the most recent indication of what the market wants to do. Yes, this candle broke lower than like these, and we could start to potentially get trades off of like shorts below here, but we're not. That's kind of how we got our wires crossed yesterday. This is the most recent signal from the market that it wants to do something. And that signal was that we closed strong below this point right here. So the market is telling us that most recently it has showed its hand for a sell below here. And so if we can mimic that, that is going to be exactly what we want to do today. I always try to break down what I'm like seeing and what I'm looking for and what I'm looking at when I stream. If you guys have any questions at all, you just let me know and we'll break down a certain pair. We'll break down a certain time frame with it. We've got really not much going on today, so I think today would be like we got okay, yeah, we still got an alert on that. US CAD's the only thing I'm looking at today. So let's go top to bottom again, just to kind of show you exactly what I'm looking for. Now, if you come to the daily time frame, this is where we're at. Now, completely ignore if we're trading above or below anything on this certain time frame right now. This candle is not closed. This is our current daily candle. This candle looks like it's above this point and this point and this point right now, but we all know that this daily candle could end up right down here, right? So with that being said, we're not considering this at all when we ask ourselves this very first question. The very first question I'm asking myself is, when I go to the daily time frame for every single pair, what is the most recent break of structure? And when I mean break of structure, I mean which candle has closed beyond another candle, which in this case, it's this one. You can see this closed strongly down below right here. This candle did not close beyond anything. This candle did not close beyond anything. And this is the candle we're currently in. So this candle right here is the most recent break of structure on the daily time frame. Now what I'm doing is I'm going to look to see which candles this closed below. So this candle closed below right here, so I drew a line to the right, and then it did not close below here. And then this candle, in this candle, it didn't necessarily close below because this is kind of overlapping that and that. You can see what I mean right here, like it runs into that one, and then this one's pretty much identical with that one, which makes this all the better too for another sub because that's also a weekly low. Neither here nor there. I don't know if we'll pull back below this level today, but what I am saying is if we do pull back below this level today, it is going to be a beautiful sell in my opinion. At least getting a good portion of this move. Like I think at least we'll come back down to match yesterday's high at the bare minimum. But so that's what I'm looking for. Then I'll drop to like the 1 hour or the 15 minute, and what I'll do is let me put my sessions on just so you guys know. I'll put like, and we can put on the New York London overlap, which I have it set to 11, but we'll set it to 12. This is going to be a 4-hour window in which price has the most potential to make a move, right? That's that 4-hour window that New York and London are open together. And it's going to be the highest time of the day. Like I really don't want to enter my trades unless my trades are signaling me to enter at that time. So and that's the hard thing for me with swing trading is I don't really want, like, swing trading is hard, not in the sense that like it's actually easier technically in my opinion because you're trading the higher time frames, which are a lot more accurate and which like the institutions are putting their money behind. But here's the thing, like timing is like super hard to figure out when you're trading like weekly levels and stuff. Like New Zealand US dollar, like, all right, let's say we're taking our trade off of, let me take the sessions off again. Or actually, let me just change the visibility on the sessions. All right, so like, all right, if you were to get into this trade, you would have got in at 9 a.m. yesterday. All right, that would have been New York, right? If you're trading on the 4-hour, but it's like if you come to the market today at 9 a.m., you're pretty much like right in the middle of the move. So it's like, I get this is a bad example because yesterday would have been perfect, a perfect entry during New York. But I can imagine that like your only really good entry on like the 4 hours usually coming at 9 a.m. It can come at 1 p.m. But at the same time too, if it comes in London, you're trading like in the middle of the night. Like it's just super hard to time down swing trading sometimes. Super hard, but like day trading's a little bit easier because you know you're going to get in when the market's going to move. Like the whole point I guess of what I was trying to say is like when you enter a swing trade just on any 4-hour candle and you're going off weekly levels, like it's a little harder because you don't know if that market's going to start taking off in your direction like immediately or not. I'm not like 100% sure if ICC just like will start delivering like this if it's like 9 p.m. at night. It could. I just haven't looked at it like on the higher like 4-hour time frame enough. Plus, Side doesn't even trade. Side doesn't even trade the like 4-hour and or like he trades the 4-hour for his analysis, but he's not trading off 4-hour candles, right? He's basically trading off structure that he sees on like the 1-hour, which we can see on like the 1-hour and the 15-minute based on our daily levels, but we're not trading like the daily candles themselves, if that makes sense. I really don't think US CAD's going to pull down though anytime soon. I'll be honest. If you just look at the direction the US dollar is going across the board right now, all of these pairs would essentially have to hit their bottoms in US yen, in US dollar Swiss franc. They would essentially have to hit their bottoms, stop what they're doing right now, and then give US CAD enough time to get below, and then for the market to start going the other way. Unfortunately, though, I don't think that's going to happen because if you look at just New Zealand US dollar, I really believe it's controlling the markets this morning. I believe this is the one pair the institutions are putting all their money in. You can see money's going into other pairs and whatnot, even GBP USD. But there's just no clearer structure and setup right now than there is on New Zealand dollar. We are getting back below this level too, so you can see that's like a good way to trail too, just so you guys know. Like let's say we're taking shorts off of here, but we know there's another level we need to get below, so you could trail more aggressively once you hit that level. And then the same thing comes here, and you could, so there's like you can trail strategically. You can trail strategically. Now this though, this low over here, I don't think is anything like relevant, not too relevant at least. Here's the thing too, I don't think we're necessarily going to miss this New Zealand US dollar move, and I'm going to tell you why. Yes, a good amount of it's happening today. For whatever reason, if it comes all the way down here today, yeah, we probably missed it. But here's the thing too, the weekly is happening first right now. We're getting a drop off of the weekly level, but all that we need to do now, here's the thing. Let me turn that down a little. I don't know why it wasn't even loud a second ago. It just got loud. Alright, so here's the thing. On the daily now, forget the weekly. Even if we didn't even see the weekly and knew that the weekly wanted to go down, let's say we close like right here. I'll do this. Now we've got these three levels this candle closed through, right? So let's just say that's the case, and then we come to the markets tomorrow. All we need is price to get back above one of these levels and to go short again. So it's not like we miss moves necessarily. It's just that we get in at a different piece of them when we're trading the daily as opposed to capturing an entire weekly move. So it's not like we're missing this move. It's just that we're not getting in on the first part of it, the first leg of it, right? But the market makes multiple legs on its way down. It could go straight, it could go all the way straight down in all transparency, but it could also come back today, get back below this level, trade lower again, take this right here, get above here, get back below that level, and then make its move down. Now, that's just like pretty much just me saying like we can get in at other points if the market allows it. Now, whether New Zealand dollar allows it or not, there will definitely be another pair this week that's going to allow it, right? You can see a lot of these markets are shifting in a different direction right now. So like GBP US dollar, we pretty much cleared all those. Like there's not a real good like weekly setup occurring here. So all that we're seeing, if we're not seeing a weekly setup, we're seeing a daily reversal of what price have been doing. And when I mean a reversal, I mean price candles have been closing higher and now they're closing lower. Now, when we close lower, if we close this much lower, we're going to have so many different areas to sell below because this candle just literally broke through all of those, that all we need is a simple pullback into all of those. And at our session, at our trading hours, the market's really going to reveal its hand and we should be able to get, price to trade lower. So that's like the concept. That's the idea. It's waiting for the market to make its move, which today is mainly what it's doing. The market's mainly making its move across all pairs. And then it's setting us up for maybe a trade tomorrow, maybe a trade the next day, and so on and so forth. But when we do get our trades, if I don't just jack things up like I did yesterday and take a trade off of like a sloppy level, if I take my trades off the clean levels like this US CAD one, and we really get the price action to get back below it, we're gonna see that they're pretty accurate. But we'll trade until 9. We'll trade till 9 together. I don't know. I'll keep my alerts set. I'll still take, as long as we get it between our New York London overlap, I will still take shorts below this level. And we just don't know if we're gonna get it today, in all transparency. That New Zealand US dollar shorts though off of yesterday is just absolutely insane. Off that weekly low. But US CAD, it's not impossible for us to get our move because like I said, US CAD is literally doing the same thing New Zealand US dollar is doing. It's just on the other side of the dollar. So that's why I'm like, it's probably not going to pull back like New Zealand is. It's probably not going to. I mean, it's just crazy though. Like, you can look across the board as long as you're looking at the higher time frame institutionally. Look at right here. This is a weekly level, a weekly candle closing beyond the previous week candle. You just take the high of it, you drop down. The market pulls back into that high, and then it literally just takes price all the way back up to where it was. All the way back up to where it was. It's just crazy. You could see it over and over again. You just gotta wait for that daily candle to close higher, that weekly candle to close higher. When it does, it tells you perfectly. Like, this is not a high you would see unless you knew that was a weekly high, right? Unless you knew you were looking at a weekly candle, you would think this is the high. You would think anything else is, but not that. And then you can see to a T, that's where price pulls to. And then look at, you pull back below it, you get back above it. You literally put your stop below that very lowest that it went because you don't want to trade back into that range. You can see back below it, back above it, and then you don't actually get back below it ever again. And these are the trade. This is why, like, when you see this, and then you see Psy posting like a $2 million, $3 million trade, and then you actually watch him for months and he's taking trades like this all the time, like, you can't really like say he's faking it. Like, it literally is something that works. It's crazy. But yeah, US CAD is not trying to get it's trying to run from that level like as much as it can. So we might have a no trade day today, boys. Might be a no trade day. We'll have to see. The only thing we really can do thing we really can do when when there's no trade going on is change up our colors. That's the only thing we could do on TradingView. But yeah, I mean, a no trade day is a good trade day in my opinion. We're gonna take this slow. That's why I got the two-step, guys. I'm really not interested in just blowing through accounts. I want to do proper trading. I want to take accurate trades and just kind of get my head back on straight. You know, I was super like high energy and like just kind of restless trading that 500K account, and it was just a really like burnout season of life. So I know like if we just wait, we'll probably have like a good 2 to 3 trading days a week. If we just wait, we'll get like 3 hour trades, and like these 1% risk will like literally cover that. And then a lot of the times we won't even take our full 1% risk. We'll be able to shave a lot of it off. We just got to be patient. It's really, you guys know that's not something I've done in the past. It's really had no trade days. But I watch a lot of podcasts and I watch a lot of pros, and they pretty much a lot of them will say that same thing, like not every day is a trading day. All right, guys. Let's see. Yeah, I've gone over everything I really wanted to go over today. I don't really see us getting into a trade anytime soon. So I don't want to just leave everyone hanging here. If anyone has any questions, we'll go over that. If not, we'll close out. It's gonna be a little shorter than an hour today, but there's just not much going on. And we went over all the charts and stuff. We went over the weekly levels too. We'll look at it one last time. Same thing, US CAD going down here, US yen, nothing going on. A lot of inside bars, right? Like we hadn't actually really had much going on the weekly for the US yen in a while. That's why if you guys look at the daily, it had been playing out pretty nice. New Zealand US dollar, of course, that's the one we were talking about, playing out big time. GBP USD is actually just reversing on the weekly. Euro US dollar, it's a lot of inside bars right here. Not much is happening. Same thing. Same thing as most of the pairs. Same thing with AUD USD kind of reversing like GU right now. It hasn't fully come back below those levels, but we're still breaking higher on the weekly. So, all that being said, nothing going on except our US CAD daily trade that we wanted to see happen. And if we can get back below, what is it, last Wednesday's low, then we will take a position. If we don't, then we're kind of dry on the markets today. But all right, guys. How many of them hit full TP and was winners? We just started streaming this account again yesterday, so we only took one trade on this account, and it just literally got trailed out. So, but we've been streaming for like almost 2 years now, or a year and a half now, but just I've been going through different seasons, taking my content down, starting it back up in new ways and whatnot, trading different styles, methods, accounts, strategies. So you probably weren't here for like a lot of like my past streams, so that's probably why you're asking. But just stick around, and we'll keep taking all our trades, live if the market's giving them to us. But when there's not anything in the markets, what we're gonna really do is we're gonna just exercise a new discipline, a new self control, and we're gonna really be patient. And you're gonna see when the markets do show their hand, it's gonna be a good thing. Like we're really gonna, I think, catch some clean trades here by waiting for them. Nice, Josh. Yeah, we're definitely looking forward to doing the same thing with you, getting fully back into it, doing it right this time, just being super patient. I think that's going to be the key, and I think not trading every day is going to take a lot of stress out of it. It's going to help us. It's going to help us go longer. Um, I'm managing my. You really manage your emotions like off the chart, but in the charts too. You just manage them from being like in the markets long enough, right? Like you just kind of sit there with them. Like that's probably the worst thing to say. How do you manage your emotions? Just sit there with them. But if you know like anything in life, like it's gonna pass, right? So sometimes you just gotta sit there with them. Sometimes you gotta distract yourself with other things. But like I'd be lying if I said, oh, like if you're just struggling emotionally, go hit a workout. Sometimes you're like you're so off emotionally that like you can't even work out. You know what I mean? So like sometimes you just gotta realize that like, hey, like there's good days and there's bad days, not just in the markets but in life. And like sometimes the best possible thing to do is just go to sleep and let a new day just come to you and just reset. And so that's one thing I've realized too is like I spent so much time trying to avoid, bad days emotionally that I realized after enough time of trying it's impossible and they just come. There could be days where you're just off emotionally for no reason other than that you just are. And I started to notice that and I was like, okay, it's really not fully in my control like I thought it was. So I try to take those days a little easy. I try to just read more. I try to, maybe hit a workout if I feel like good. But sometimes you just got to sit through that day. But you got to sit through it knowing that, all right, these emotions are going to pass. Like, that's what, like, if you look at the root word, like what the ancient people understood emotion to be, it was energy and motion, right? It's not literally who you are. It's just like this energy of emotions that come through you. Like, right? Emotions are energy in motion. So that's literally energy expressing itself through you. I don't mean to get like any like type of like weird way. Like I really believe energy is just the same thing as spirit. Um, because I'm a Christian and I believe that a lot of like new age stuff or whatever is just like mislabeled things that are real. Like I don't think it's false. I think it's mislabeled things that are real and like for the purpose of misdirecting people. But energy is just spirit, right? And so emotions, if the ancients literally made that word based on energy and motion, it was literally just different like layers of spirit, like the people like in like in the church will say someone's got a spirit of anger, a spirit of depression. Like what they're really just saying is like that person's just filled with that emotion, but that emotion has like conscious, right? It like expresses itself through you. So when you have like anger or depression or anxiety trying to express itself through you, you have to realize that it's not fully you. It's something trying to express itself through you, and the only power that you can give to it is to feed it. But if you try to kill it, it's going to become more alive. So instead of trying to kill it, you have to sit with it and let it leave on its own. And that's that concept of this too will pass. And so like managing your emotions, you can't fight them. If you fight them, you feel them, because emotions it's energy, emotion, it's spirit, right? You're dealing with spirit. And if you try to fight spirit with fleshly or material ways, it's not going to work, right? But what you can do is you can redirect your focus, you can redirect your thoughts, you can try to meditate and get in the presence of God, and you'll see that those things subside. Like literally all your struggles are in your thoughts. You can almost constantly on a regular basis stop suffering in a certain emotion or a certain thing that you're going through if you literally just get quiet for long enough, right? Because a lot of like those things that are afflicting us are literally coming from these thought loops we get stuck in. And so that's why I believe meditation is truly a thing of God in clearing your mind. It's not an Eastern thing. Like the Eastern, like this is one of those simple like misdirections, right? Like clear your mind and empty yourself. That's not what you're doing. That's just like a distraction, right? What you're doing is you're literally quieting yourself, and you're being quiet so that way God can fill you with himself. That way God can do a work in you. You're literally yielding to the Spirit of God when you meditate, right? You're getting before him in complete surrender and in complete openness, and you're emptying yourself of yourself so he can fill you with you. That's what a lot of people leave out when they talk about meditation. They leave out the part where, yeah, you empty yourself of yourself, but God fills himself with you. And in that time, he brings that peace that passes all understanding. I'm going to put you guys on game right now. I'm going to give you a little gem. The Bible over and over and over again talks about meditation. People just don't see it. And the Bible says that spiritual things are spiritually discerned. So if you're not, understanding how spiritual things work and you read the Bible, sometimes you're just not going to understand certain things. But Jesus talks, I think in maybe a few places about giving you the peace that passes all understanding. And so a lot of people or Christians just like, they're like, oh yeah, I have the peace that passes all understanding. Do you understand what that is though? It's not just like, oh, I don't understand why I have this peace. That's not what it is. I'm going to put you guys on game. The peace that passes all understanding is literally that peace that you get when you come in contact with God, when you put down your understanding beyond your understanding. And so that peace, and this is tying all back to answer your question about how you manage emotions. This is the most effective way, and this is the way I was talking about, and how you just let it pass, knowing that this too shall pass. It's going to change everything in your trading if you just meditate and you empty yourself of yourself and you allow God to fill himself with you. And then once you move beyond your understanding, you get that peace from coming in contact with God. That's when those emotions do pass. That's when they subside. And that's when you're really to get that like inner balance, right? When you're re-centered in God. And he does that. He does those things. This is so contrary to our world. And if you guys read the Bible, or if you guys, pursue God in any way, you're going to notice that his ways are almost like in like the exact opposite direction of the world's ways. So whereas we think we need to do this, and that to strive and to accomplish, those things inside, it's literally doing nothing that accomplishes everything, which is like a complete paradox, but it's true. If you do nothing, it'll accomplish everything. Because if you allow yourself to be fully surrendered, it is the biggest sign of saying, I trust you. When you come to God and you say, I don't even have the right words to say, I just want to be with you. I can't fix all these things in my life. I've been trying, but I'm going to get quiet before you and I'm going to allow you to work. And then you sit there for 30 minutes in complete silence, and it does more in 30 minutes. God does more in your heart in 30 minutes than you've been trying to do for the last all of 2025. So that's how I manage my emotions. The best way is getting silent and still before God, and allowing him to just help me work through them, or to help them pass. But let me read the chat. I kind of try not to read the chat when I'm like going on like somewhat of a rant, so because it'll mess up the flow. But oh, okay, cool. Yeah, no, of course. I try to share like those things too sometimes, but I don't always know if people like want to hear it or not, because it's like not, it's trading related, but it's not trading related, right? But it's still trading related because it's gonna help you with your trading. It's different things that I believe like God's taught me to work through, not just trading but life, right? It's this life's a battleground, and if you can have any gem like that to help you just get through the day to day, sometimes it means everything, But yeah, we'll end it on that note. If you guys have anything you want to pray about, we're just going to come together in prayer right now. Just know that God's with us. He's present. Even though we're in different places in the world, that's another spiritual concept, that there's really no distance in the spirit. Like, I'm not like just saying that like because it sounds good. Like, it's a true thing. Like, we're literally together in the spirit right now as we come in agreement. And if you guys, we're just going to ask God for help in life. We can't do this all on our own. I can't. So if you feel the same, just come together in agreement, and we'll literally close this out today. We'll be back tomorrow. But yeah, this part of the stream is where the most happens. It happens right here, because we just simply we can leave the stream today and we can try to make everything happen. But the truth is, if there's blockage in the spiritual realm, it will never happen. It will never happen. The path has to be cleared in the spiritual realm first, for our dreams, for our vision, for the things that we're trying to accomplish. If there's doors closed on us in the spiritual realm, we cannot walk through them in the material. It's just how it works. So we're gonna close in prayer really quick. I'll read the chat again, and that's yeah, and we'll be back tomorrow. Father, we just come to you in the name of your Son Jesus. So I just thank you for an open community, whether people believe in you yet or not. Father, I just pray that you reveal yourself in their lives anyway, not in a way that's just forceful or overbearing or condemning like the world would try to portray you as, but just, Father, reveal themselves or yourself to them in the same way you revealed yourself to me, in the way that I've messed up over and over again for years. And the world might tell me that I'm not doing it right and that I'm condemned or whatever. But you just showed me in every single of my valleys and my low places in life, Father, you just showed me your true character, and that's that you really have unconditional love for humanity, and that you're going to continue to watch over us and take care of us, and you're going to walk us through these trials and these testings and this hurt and the suffering, and you're ultimately leading us all to a place of perfect paradise and peace with you one day. Father, I thank you for revealing this to me and my brothers here. I pray that whatever's going on in their hearts, whether it's at a conscious level or a subconscious level, whatever they're dealing with, whether it's because of their own lives or because of their families' lives, or their past families' lives, Father, I just pray that you work through all those different things in their life, that you just navigate through it, that you untangle the mess that's been caused by themselves or even not to their own fault. Father, I just pray for healing right now. I pray not only for healing, but I pray that your presence is felt wherever they're at right now in their room. I pray that your Holy Spirit's presence fills their room in the name of Jesus and completely cleanses them and washes them over with your love. In the name of Jesus, I pray. Amen. Amen, guys. All right, we're going to sign off for the day. I love you guys. We'll be back tomorrow. US Cat is not... it's not coming back. It's not coming back, Gerald. It might be, but here's the thing. If we close higher than here, we're no longer going to be looking for shorts. If this day closes higher than here, we're no longer going to be looking for shorts. We're going to be looking for maybe a play like that. So we'll see what happens. But I love you guys. We'll be back tomorrow. Yeah, and if you guys aren't in the Telegram, join. That's kind of where I give some updates. We'll do some game film again today if there's anything that did play out. And I'll give you guys an update too if I do end up getting in US Cat. I'm going to just leave this alert on, and if it happens to come back to it, it does. But, alright boys, see you tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow around the same time. Love y'all.